There's an old Afrikaans saying that basically translates to, there's a lid for every pot. And I think it goes a long way to describing and explaining a vehicle like this, the new Tata Tiago. Tata Motors recently re-entered the South African passenger car market with 4 new models: the Harrier, the Curve, the Punch, and this, the Tiago. It's essentially a budget-friendly city hatchback. This is not a new car. In fact, it's been on sale in India for quite some time, and it's a little bit dated. And why I say that is because the platform on which this car is built is the same platform that was found under the Indica and the Bolt that was sold in South Africa almost 10 years ago. Stylistically speaking, there's a lot of different flavors going on here. There's some Fiat Punto, there's some Ford Figo, and a little bit of Nissan Micra thrown in for good measure. It's not an unattractive car, it's just a little bit bland, especially when it's in this stone grey color palette. Inside the cabin of the Tiago, it is rather pleasant. It's bright and airy, a lot of headroom, and you do get this impression of wide open space because the windows are pretty big. Very, very good 360-degree visibility. Interior-wise, it's kind of what you expect in this price bracket. A lot of hard, scratchy plastics and some very narrow seats that are covered in this rather fetching grey and black upholstery. I do have some questions though about how well it's going to hold up over time, but that remains to be seen. Ergonomically speaking, things are a little off in the Tiago. The seats are very, very narrow, so you don't feel like you get a lot of support from the base or from the backrest. The steering wheel itself is slightly offset to the left, so you feel a little bit disturbed while you're driving. The gear lever is a little too far off from your left hand, so when you put it into first, you almost have to lean over to put it into gear. All these little things that compound, making this not an overly comfortable drive. Tech-wise, pretty much what you can expect from this price bracket. There is a base model touchscreen infotainment system from Harman. They left the card in at home. That has tethered Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There is manual air conditioning, and then for the driver you get a small little digital instrument cluster with some flashy lights for your rev counter and fuel gauge. The steering wheel has this really nice 2-spoke design with this see-through plastic cover that has the little illuminated Tata logo that comes on when you start the car. Not really sure how this is going to age once again, but it looks cool. Now, before we get onto the driving dynamics of the Tiago, I think it's important to understand a little bit about where these cars come from. You see, the vast majority of the budget entry-level city hatchbacks on sale in South Africa are manufactured in India, a country whose national speed limit on highways is 100 kilometers an hour. So these cars are not engineered to be particularly fast. With that being said, under the bonnet of the Tiago, you are going to get a 1.2 litre naturally aspirated petrol engine that is mated to a 5-speed manual or a 5-speed auto, depending which model you get. In this car, it is the manual. Now, that combination is good for 63 kilowatts and 113 Newton meters, which is more than you're going to get in some of its segment competitors. But in the Tiago, with the very, very tall gears on the manual gearbox, you really have to rev this car to get it moving. So you have very tall gears in 1, 2, and 3, and then 4 and 5 are very close together, which ultimately leads to a top speed on the freeway of 123 kilometers an hour full taps. Won't go any faster than that. So really, you should be avoiding the fast lane. Now, the suspension in the Tiago is very soft, it's very pliable, which makes slow speed maneuvers, driving in town over speed bumps and things like that, very, very comfortable. But if you are going to attempt to take a corner at anything above idling speed, best hold on, because, well, it doesn't corner very well. The steering is also a little bit vague. It doesn't feel like it's connected to the front wheels. It also doesn't self-center once you've gone around a corner. You have to physically turn it back. And yeah, just a little bit of a disconnected drive. Now, I will say this though, the Tiago has been rather frugal, despite us having to rev it to get it to move. We've been averaging 7 liters per 100 kilometers, which is not too bad considering that Tata themselves have claimed 5 liters per 100 kilometers, which is not bad. So on the whole, not a bad drive. It's relatively comfortable, it's frugal, and if you keep your wits about you, it's okay to drive. I do get the feeling though that the Tiago, like many of the budget hatchbacks, is designed for city runabout, plying the roads in the suburbs, doing the school run, going to get the groceries. Not really designed to be used on the freeway at any sort of speed. Well, while we're out here plying the freeway in the slow lane, you might be wondering how much this little package is going to set you back. Well, the Tata Tiago 1.2 XT in manual that we have here is going to set you back 209,900 Rand. And with that, you get a 5-year 125,000 kilometer warranty and a 2-year 30,000 kilometer service plan, which is not bad for a budget entry-level city hatchback. But it does leave me wondering. So who is the lid for this pot? Well, I can see a lot of these Tiagos ending up in rental fleets, taxi services, even e-hailing. Should you buy one? Well, it's a bit of a tough sell. You see, if you compare the Tiago to vehicles in the segment, things like the Toyota Vitz, Suzuki Celerio and Suzuki Espresso, the Tiago falls a little short in the refinement stakes. See, consumers who are shopping in this segment might be budget shoppers, but they are still looking for things that are nice. Buyers in that segment might be shopping on a budget, but a little bit of refinement goes a long way. Now I turn the floor over to you. Would you drive a Tiago, or would you rather have one of the other budget-friendly hatchbacks in this segment? I'd like to thank you for watching. If you haven't yet, please like, share and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.